I often get asked, how do we take care of our family when we grow food? How can we grow food if we live in the city? How can we grow food if we live in the winter climates and all we can do is grow outdoors maybe 2 or 3 months out of a year? How do we do that? What if we live in a drought area and all of a sudden we don't get enough rain? What is the solutions? We're going to talk about things that you need to purchase or things that you can build or construct to grow and take care of your family. Have self-sustainability and self-reliance based on some of these things. Today's list is going to be a good one. You need to stockpile or buy these things to take care of your family and not to rely on the grocery store. Let's jump right into it. Today's video starts right now. Hey guys, welcome to the Max. Thank you so much for being here. If you're new to our channel, go down here, press subscribe, ring the bell, and give us a thumbs up or down. It helps us stay in the algorithm and hopefully can share to other people that can encourage them to take care of their family, be wise in decisions on prepping, homesteading, and self-reliance. So let's jump right into the video. These are gonna be things that you can purchase not only on Amazon, not only at Walmart, not only at your big box stores, but maybe even some local supply stores. You can build some of these, you can construct them. If not, learn to save up money and buy some of these items because this can help you grow indoors, grow on porches, and make sure you're taking care of your family. So number one, a simple hydroponic system right here. Now you can buy this on Amazon right now. Now it may cost you $100 to $200 to $300 depending on what kind you're buying. Some of them are smaller pots and they're kind of all in one. You fill the water up and they grow on top. So if you're looking to grow just a little bit, that would be good. But the one that I'm showing you here basically allows you to grow a lot more than just 1 or 2 veg. It allows you to grow in several different areas. Hydroponics is a system that is a water that is usually based with fish emulsion and other fertilizers to go through, and it allows you to grow food in a wetness that is not soil. Now some things don't grow good in hydroponics. A lot of your greeny veg does. So a lot of the leafy greens that are very healthy for you thrive in hydroponics. Think of lettuces, collards, kale, herbs. Those are the kind of things you want to grow in hydroponics. This is a way to supplement your diet, also to keep a healthier diet in front of you. This is the first of the year still, so you need to be making sure you are doing good things for your health, and eating leafy greens is one of them. But hydroponics is a way that you can grow without soil in a controlled environment and making sure all it needs is a little water, a little fertilization, and some light. Number two would be a grow light. Just as we were talking with hydroponics or with any system, say you don't have a lot of natural light, definitely always try to grow in natural light if possible. The natural sun, the natural elements that God has given us is going to grow our crops better. But maybe you're in areas like this that you don't have a lot of natural light. You have a lot of rainy days, you have coldness, and you can't place anything outdoors. Grow lights are key. They are phenomenal for maybe starting crops, some other things that we're going to be talking about in just a second. But if you're using any kind of system, or you don't have windows, or you don't have natural light, or you don't have a big percentage of natural light for the day, especially in your indoors or on your porch or wherever you're growing, grow lights are good to have. You can buy grow lights in a variety of different ways. You can use panels, you can use smaller lights. It depends on what you're growing and how much you're growing. It depends on how many lights that you're going to need. Not that I like artificial lights, not that I like artificial systems, but sometimes we have to improvise to make sure we have a sustainable source of food. Grow lights is where it's at. Number three, what are we growing and how do we grow? Say we want soil, but we don't want to do hydroponics and we don't want to have this big mess. We can't build a raised bed on our verandas or in our apartments. What's some more options? Well, grow bags. Grow bags are awesome. One thing I like about grow bags is, for instance, you can place a tarp or a little piece of plastic or bisqueen down, put these grow bags on it because they will leak some moisture. Unlike putting things in buckets. Now we've used 5-gallon buckets, especially in our greenhouse. They have holes in them and they're gonna leak a little bit more intense. One thing I like about grow bags, especially if you have a good soil in there, it's gonna hold its moisture a lot better. It tends to also be darker colors to help not dry out your soil, and it does not have plastics such as a 5-gallon bucket. So there's benefits to it. We grow tomatoes in our grow bags. We have grown garlic in our grow bags. We've grown onions in our grow bags. We've grown a lot of things in our grow bags, to be honest with you, depending on the size. But grow bags are good to have on porches or even indoors where you can grow, and then once you're done growing, you can place them and put them up for storage. They don't tend to get in the way. It's not like you got this big raised bed in your area. It's not like you got to throw your plastic buckets away, store them in some way. Grow bags are very good to add to indoor growing, maybe smaller growing areas, or just capabilities where you can move things in and out. Unlike a raised bed, I have raised beds all over our property. I have in-ground gardens all over our property. I can't move those. Grow bags allows me to use the handles, get them into the natural light for a little bit, bring them back indoors or bring them back into a comfort area to where they will not get burned by the weather or bad weather or cold weather, whatever it may be. Grow bags are good to have. Number 4 would be a compost bin or a compost maker. We don't realize how valuable some of our recycled food, goods, newspaper clippings, cardboard, all that stuff can be. For instance, a lot of our food, of course, goes to our animals. We have an animal farm. But say you don't have animals. Now, I'm not saying throw your fats or your meats or your dairy into the compost. But for instance, eggshells, cardboard, newspaper, cut grass, pieces of old lettuces that are no good. All that stuff can go into a compost bin. Then you can turn around and spin it, or you can mix it, or you can turn it, toil it, however you want to do it. Put a little water and a little heat to it, and then you've got fresh soil. If you got banana peels, you've got some kind of other pieces of old apple. I mean, there's all kind of things that you can throw in there, and it becomes fun because then you're not wasting food. It allows you to know, you know what, you can utilize that newspaper. You can utilize that cardboard. You can utilize all those things. All it needs is carbon and nitrogen to build a compost. Compost is excellent when you're talking about growing food. This is something that we have indoors. We have a food bucket for our animals, and then we have a compost bin. You have to have a compost bin. It's good for you. It helps you feel like you're not wasting, but at the same time, it's good because you are now building soil for no price, and it's gonna have all the necessary minerals to help your soil and your veggies to grow. Well, number 5, 6, and 7 go together. Number 5 would be your seeds. You have to have seeds. We have links to survival seeds or Hoss Tools seeds below. You don't have to use those. You can use any one. You can go to your big box stores and buy them. But seeds are the lifeblood to anything and everything that we're growing. You need to learn to not only harvest seeds, you need to buy seeds. You need to stockpile seeds. We've said this in a lot of videos. But you can buy kits and say, okay, I want to try to grow, leafy greens. I want to try to grow, spring veg. I want to try to grow summer crops or winter crops. You can buy them in sets from a lot of these companies. You can buy in bulk. You can buy in small packets. Seeds are not that expensive. But just like everything else, there's a war on seeds. Try to find heirloom, non-GMO, organic style seeds, or ones that that grow good in your area, maybe from a local farm. But if you get those, this will allow you to use the compost, use the hydroponics, use the grow bags, and then you're growing your own food. Now 6 goes along with that. We talk about typical vegetables, but 6 would be herbs. Now we're going to talk a little bit more in depth about herbs in just a second, but herbs are key to your diet. Not only are they like superfoods, you can grow so much herbs that are so good for us. It helps the monotony of food, but also adds so much of a super green or vitamins or minerals to your meals that you already have. Simple chives, simple basil, rosemary, all those things are very good. Now there's hundreds of herbs that you can grow, and they tend to grow very easy. So we talk about the grow bags, we talk about hydroponics. Herbs would be a great thing to grow. It's very good for supplementing. Also, a lot of your key vitamins, minerals, and when you do, for instance, like a multivitamin, daily multivitamins are based on a lot of these green vegetables that you can grow, or herbs. A lot of these things can grow right indoors, and you're not having to purchase those things. You have them right there to go pick and eat. Now the reason I say number 7 goes along with 5 and 6 is because it's microgreens. Microgreens can grow just in about anywhere. They're so easy to grow. You can pick up a bunch of seeds, and they're just basically sprouts of a lot of different vegetables that you're growing already. But microgreens are huge for health. big benefits such as wheatgrass. We grow a lot of radishes. We grow a lot of spicy greens. It's good for garnishment on your steaks, your meats, but also salads. But they're just good just to go grab a handful and eat. A lot of times in the past, we have juiced our wheatgrass. We've dehydrated a lot of our microgreens and added them to foods. So if we're wanting radishes or wheatgrass, or we're needing a health boost, we've done that with even our vegetables and our herbs too. It allows our kids to not know what they're taking, but then also be able to put it on their food, and they're getting all their vitamins and minerals in that. If you're making capsules with different microgreens and herbs are good as well. You can do that by dehydrating a lot of these herbs, a lot of these vegetables, and now you are ready to build a true surplus of good homemade medicine. Now that's going to jump us into number 8. Number 8 is liquor. That's crazy to say, but if you're making herbal tinctures, if you're making any kind of medicinal benefits to your health, having liquor on hand is very good when it comes to things that you're growing. Now, I don't even drink liquor, so I want you to understand, when I say buy liquor, it's because we're looking at it in a way of health. We're looking at a way of cleansing. We're looking at a way of making sure that we are putting herbs up in a way that we can take them later. Now, our goal is to dehydrate and utilize our foods as food, and our vegetables and our herbs as food. But sometimes we don't realize the properties that we have when we're growing all these microgreens, herbs, and leafy greens. You could take a lot of those things and a lot of the flowers that you're growing naturally in our grounds, add them to liquor, build tinctures out of them, and all of a sudden now you've got homemade medicine. We see antibiotics and we see medicines are getting in short supply because we buy them all over the world, and supply chain issues are bad. So we've talked about growing food, but now we're growing medicine, and we're making medicine based on some of the things we're already growing. Look into tinctures. Got to be a high proof, such as a vodka or Everclear, to make sure you're making high quality tinctures, medicines for your family. Really read into it. You don't want to make yourself sick, so do your own research, but it's very good to have to go along with all these things that we're growing. Number 9 goes along with that. You have to have a jar. So we keep a lot of our microgreens, we keep a lot of our leafy veggies, a lot of this excess food and supplemental food that we're putting. For instance, we just dehydrated some more onions and peppers. What did we do with them? We dehydrated them, and guess what? We put them in number 9, jars. Right now you can pick up jars because everybody is getting ready for spring growing. Before everybody starts buying spring growing items, go and buy you some mason jars with some lids. It's good for storage. It keeps things out of plastic, keeps things out of things like Ziplocs that have BPA and all those chemicals to be made up of. So start buying some glasses right now. You can also go back and use some of your old glasses from different things that you have ate already. Learn to recycle glass. There's nothing wrong with that. We've talked about it in other videos. But a lot of times if we're growing microgreens, you can grow them directly in jars. You don't have to have seed trays. Growing them in mason jars is perfectly fine. You learn to use a cheesecloth, and there's different ways you can learn it. I've done videos on that, and there's a lot of research on it. But growing microgreens in jars is very easy. It's sprouting those greens right there on your kitchen counter. Put them in your cupboard. Then all of a sudden you have food that is packed with nutrients and vitamins, and you can grow them in a mason jar. So now you have a garden not only growing in hydroponics and grow bags, you're growing food in mason jars, people. Next is just like the hydroponic system, or just like the grow lights. It's called a grow tent. Now these are not the most cheap thing that you could purchase, but now you're building a microclimate and an environment in another environment. For instance, if you're in your apartment or you're in your home, this is an all-encapsulating system, and you're building your own ecosystem. It's got its own air filtration, it's got its own grow lights, and you can zip it up, zip it out, put water in it, zip it back up, and you are good to go. You are building this cool little greenhouse, this little microclimate indoors. Now this is not cheap. Some of these go from 100 to thousands. Now the whole purpose of this video is I want to encourage you that you can grow. Please don't say you cannot grow. Please don't say that there's no options for you because you live in the city or you live in an apartment. There's different ways. You just have to learn to be innovative and understand you can grow some food. Now, can you grow 100% of your food indoors? You can, but I'm not saying shoot for the impossible. I'm saying just support 10% of your diet. Maybe support 5%. If it's just 1% better each and every day, then again, you are going in the right direction. So Start with baby steps. Learn microgreens. So pick up some mason jars, some microgreen seeds, some simple soil. You've spent probably $5 to $10 and all of a sudden you're now growing food. Spend $10 to $15, $25 more and you've got more seeds. You've got grow bags. You've got compost. You've got ways that you can start making your own soil with compost. Maybe you can look at other options like the hydroponics. Those are all very good. These are keys to success in growing food. Remember, it's all about taking care of your family, building wisdom to find ways that you can grow your own food. So pick up some of these things today and you know what, get to growing. Remember guys, we're going to be doing a monster giveaway of thousands of dollars. Some of these things that we're talking about right now, we're going to be giving away when we hit 200,000 subscribers. So go down here, press subscribe, ring the bell. That's all it takes to get into the giveaways. And we're going to be doing, it's like 10 to 15 gifts we're going to be giving away. And all it takes is you subscribing. So thank you so much for watching. God bless you. Happy homesteading, y'all.